Hello and welcome. My name is Trismegistus, and today we're going to be playing some more Factorio, the series I'm calling Noodling About. Don't seem to be central in there. Tweak that position slightly. There we go. Yes, so just check my levels, check my audio, make sure it's all happening. And yet again, that's not loaded up properly. I wonder why it does that all the time. Yeah, there we are. We're coming through on Twitch. We have video and all the other wonders of modern technology. Right, so set all of this up. Click on that. Close that down. Cool. So, yes. Noodling Around series. I had a quick check on where we were because it's obviously a bit confusing, if I'm totally honest. I didn't accidentally mute the mic then, did I? No, monitoring. Cool. Sorry, I pressed a weird button and I didn't know what it would or wouldn't do. Cool. Okay, so, yes. Where are we? We are on the cusp of doing oil on this map. I think I'd identified that because we've got a pretty nice oil patch there. I seem to remember, didn't I set this to like railworld settings, but then turn expansion back on, sort of thing? I think that's what I did. But we have a nesticle there and a couple that are quite close, a couple of three actually, that are quite close, that will probably be quite angry about us exploiting that oil patch. Iron is okay, 615, 729. Okay. What's the copper like? Copper's a bit smaller, isn't it? Okay. So, we're probably going to have to take out a reasonable number of nests in order to exploit this with relative ease. But we aren't even at the point of doing oil processing yet, because we need to do... I'm doing a lab research. What's the first one? Okay, we are quite early then, aren't we? But yes, we then need... I mean, I've got trains there, but why don't I move fluids up? And then we can do them a bit sooner, because obviously we need, you know, that's a fairly significant distance, so we're probably better off training it in. Cool. And then, do I really want landfill? Do I care? Probably not. What we probably want more is large power poles, so that we can go and, you know, take power over to the oil patch with a little more ease. What we need to check on now is if there's... Oh, we have military stuffs. Okay. Okay, so we've done military sciences. Okay. Am I just relying on... Yeah, tiny build science. Okay. Okay. So, we're not quite as far ahead. We've built all this then, based on very little. Interesting. Let us, therefore, do some science at more reasonable sort of scale. I'm going to be... I have actually put up the Friday Facts circle, because one of the things with this series is meant to be chatting about the Friday Facts. I suppose usually there aren't too many people joining asking questions. Occasionally there will, but what am I missing there? Yeah, I got the Friday Facts up so that I can remember what was in it, because it was loads. It was like stuffed. I don't actually care what these are. I just wanted it for spacing and direction and stuff. But yes, Friday Facts 442 had a lot of stuff in it. It's fascinating knowing what's in the game and then what they decide to reveal, basically. It's sort of a different sort of insight to what I've had before. You know, knowing what the changes are and then what they've actually decided to do on the Friday Facts, but also how they talk about them. So an example would be that they didn't say what they introduced quality trains, but they didn't say what all of the values were, basically. So as in, You've got a quality train. Oh, get some steel chests, okay. And that's all well and good. Oh, not got any wood. Okay. Do I need wooden power bars? Yeah, it's just have a stack. And they mentioned the whole, mentioned the whole legendary having 10 slots. So legendary is a big boy. That's the cargo wagon. But they didn't say what the others are. You can probably work it out to a degree, because obviously a normal cargo wagon has 40 slots. Oh, I mean 10. 10 rows, so it has 4 rows. Normal one, 40 slots. The big one has 100 slots, so it's 10 rows. But they didn't say what the others have, and it's obviously not linear because you've only got 5 levels of quality. But you've got 6 extra slots, so it can't be linear. Cool. So we're doing a nice amount. So we'll get labs. How are we doing with power? Okay, so maybe we should power up a bit more. Now, if we think about adding 12, what do we want to add? Because that's not a nice number, is it? We should maybe do it as like 24 or something. And then that would be 12 of these, which is effectively a quarter of a stack. Nearest, damn it. Okay. Are we fully filled in with furnaces? We are. Okay. So that's something. Assembly machines. Let's grab some of them. Not going to take a full stack of them for now. Engines we have. What was I going to put in there? Probably pumps or something, was it? Must be. But we've not done them yet, have we? No. Okay. And then turrets, get them if we're going to defend this outpost. How are we doing with shotty shells? Cool. So what I love about this game is you go away and muck about with something, and when you come back, everything's all hunky-dory. We've done piercing, haven't we? Yes, we have. So let's do that, and that then needs steel. Oh, did I not make... I have made long-handed, so I just not picked some up. Cool. So yes, you've got quality trains now. It's also interesting, I say, when they have minor things, and it's like they reveal one part of the minor thing, but not necessarily the other part of the minor thing. And I don't know whether they do that because it's like, well, is that enough of a thing to reveal in and of itself, or, you know. Let's make that 500. Or is it just to leave some surprise so that even though you know, you don't know it all, sort of thing. This is quite fascinating. So we've got that. And that. But one of the side effects, obviously, I'm completely knackered today, if I'm totally honest, because even though I'm not speculating about anything, I still managed to do a 2.5 hour video record for the Friday Facts. It's like, what am I doing? Literally just read it out and, you know, or summarise it or something and leave it at that. But no, I had to do a massive video, didn't I? So that, I mean, I was editing that until like 2 in the afternoon on the Saturday. Just solid. You can't get iron, can you? We haven't done power poles. Okay. So what I need to do is have a little, or what I'm going to do this time, and I've been doing it slightly differently on my other save, you know, the version 2.1 one. I guess let's just check. I have got everything normal done, haven't I? Yeah, so we're sort of caught up. We just need to make proper levels. Oh, I can do a... And I've got heavy armour. But yeah, we've got grenades that we can make. Okay, so where is a convenient place? We've got our stacks here, smelting stacks. But the coal is actually there. Because I've ended up, rather conveniently, with our red ammo build and our... Because we don't need much military stuff, like at all, really. So we could pinch both of those, and then I could set us, because they're relatively. I mean, I could put a blue ember on both of them. They're relatively quick. You know, it's not slow. Oops. You know, so I could do that, and then we could have a couple of machines making grenades here as well. So we could make military science somewhere here, just off. We'll just pinch what we need. And that means we could then build our red and our green on the side as well. But they might be easier to do in the bus, because I don't need to bring anything over. And we're not going to do it mad scale. Yeah, I think I'll build red and green science in here, and we'll just do like 4 machines of each or something. And then in fact, I say that I could do separate builds, couldn't I? Fairly easily. Yeah, I wonder if we could fit it all in then. So if we did 2 military, and then if we made these, we'll probably have to move them because we need somewhere to put our output. You know, our red and our green outputs. So if we do say, but we'll just put them on for temporary. So if we do like 4, so if those are military, then that's red, and then say that's green, and that's green. It does all sort of fit, doesn't it? And we could have a belt coming out here. We could have our labs here somewhere. Okay. I don't dislike that. Except I was going to do separate. I was going to do separate builds, wasn't I? So in other words, that should actually be that, and that, and then that, and that. And we don't want to put them in boxes anyway, so yeah, I think it'll all fit in there. And we'll just have one military, I guess. Yeah, okay. So we need to work around that, but for now, let's go and boost up our power. Doobie-doobie-doo. So we should have 24. Yep. And then we already got the 12 for them. Got some pipes, got some power poles. Okay. Let us boost up our power. The flipping thing and the insert, I think people got, or like it's also fascinating seeing people like misunderstand things, I suppose is maybe the best way of putting it. Obviously I used to do unhinged speculation. 2, 4. So I kind of see, you know, the same spirit going on of, you know, people wishing for things rather than any actual evidence that, you know, they're going to happen, sort of thing. But yeah, it's clearly very difficult to in a sense know what to say and what not to say, and because they don't want people getting too much of the wrong end of the stick. If people do, then okay, that's not their fault, or it needs to not be their fault. You see what I mean? So they can't imply something that then just isn't true or isn't there or what have you, because people will get annoyed, rightly, because they're effectively lying about what they've done. But equally, They can't say absolutely everything, otherwise every Friday Facts would be 5,000 pages long, sort of thing, because they're going into absolutely every detail of absolutely everything. You know. Like, you know, how they coded it up and all that sort of stuff. It gets too far the other way. It's too much, you know. So yeah, so it has been interesting seeing people, in a sense, get the wrong end of the stick, or imagine they've seen something and not actually seen it. Do I put another one on? Might as well, while we're here. We've just doubled our power, so why not treat ourselves to a lovely snaky coal patch. Cool. Has green science stopped, or is it? No, it's just cool. But yes, the whole belt thing, basically what it is, what I'm getting at, is that when a building puts out onto a belt, and it only applies that, you know, for buildings putting onto a belt, obviously, because other buildings it's not relevant for anyway. But when a building puts out onto a belt, right, like that, sideways, and to say that I think they've confused it partly because they've used the word perpendicular, and it isn't perpendicular. The changes happen. So this is perpendicular. This is the output direction. This is perpendicular, 90 degrees to the output direction. So that's unchanged. There's nothing, and it shows it in the actual Friday Facts. There's nothing changed about that, and that's to say that's exactly as it's shown in the Friday Facts. The bit that's changed is when you do it. Just clear that off. That's when you do it parallel to the direction of flow. So in other words, if I was outputting like that, you would now get an indicator. This basically changes to show you which side of the belt it's on, and you can just use H and V to flip it. Because if you think, I mean, that one in particular, it is in the center anyway. So when you're flipping it, you're not, you know, if you use H, V on it, you're not doing anything because it's just showing, it's just the exact same thing. But now the actual arrow shows you, you can change which side it's happening. But I say it only applies for doing that. But if you think about it, particularly something like a recycler, because that is off to the side as well as the burner inserter, so it changes for then. But the reason they also talked about the fact that splitters now always put on the input side of the split. Well, it used to be, so if you had it like that, these, they would, well, actually, let's do it. Why just talk about it? So if you do this, right, and then you do this, okay, they're putting on the outside, so there is no splitting, there is no merging. So this one, and I've done this loads of times with trains, that's stopped because it can't go anywhere. So if you're doing that, you're not actually putting it on the splitter. What you're doing is you're putting it on a belt. Yeah, so those pair up really well, because now when you do that, it's going on the inside. So all you have to do is just the one output. Tell this to do the other side, and then you're basically putting it onto the full belt. I say it shows all that. You know, that's what's in the Friday Facts. I'm not revealing anything there, but so that's how it works. Okay, so we got the pump now as well. Our belt's nice and full of coal. So we'll put the pump on here. So we want, oops, oh, I fiddled about with that. If I go like that, so 0 needs to be bump. Do I have to do 1 again? I don't know if that changed it or not, but it needs steel and pipe. Okay, steel, pipe. And do we need 100 of them? I don't think we need 100 of them. Cool. Nice. So that's the thing added. What we also then need is tanks. In order, but we need them to make trains. So we'll leave it until we are training. Do we get another military thing, or is that just the grenade still? Okay. So yes, let's sort of rethink this so that it will produce what we want. What we need are, well, let's take some power down, but what we need are red sciences. And what do you need? You need gears and copper. Okay, so that would be those two. But if we put that so if we put that there, then we can output. Oh, it doesn't really matter, does it? We do it in the middle. Put that there. So we can have our red science going down there. I guess really we probably want them both on one side, don't we? So if we do rearrange that a little bit. That's going on the inside, isn't it? So if we do it as that, maybe? Bit janky. I could do it, yeah. Probably do it more simply when we're doing the actual green bit. So copy that. Except not, because I forgot to put the another inserter on. And then do that. So they will, oh, in fact, actually, let's do it that way. That's easier, isn't it? We'll do it like that. Cool. That gives us, I mean, we could do blue machines, couldn't we, really, since we've boosted the power. And then green. Green is a little bit more complicated because we need to make belts and inserters. We could, I mean, in theory, we could pinch them from elsewhere, but meh. Meh. So what we need to do, we are going to need iron for it. Maybe if we don't need it to be. That complicated, do we? So if we go put that like there, say, and make transport belts. Oh no, it can't grab them, can it? How about the other option? If we take it up. Interesting, I need to put them on a belt somewhere, basically. So we need, oops, like inserters could be there, belts could be there. Wouldn't need them to be there though, would I? I could do that. Because that obviously needs them. So if we go there, oops, there. In fact, actually, yeah, it can reach everything, can't it? If we do that, if we just do that, and then that, and that gets us both of those, and then we can set these back. Do I even need? No, don't need a second power bar, do I? Or Yeah. You have to do a bit of spaghetti, but that's fine. Because this one needs to go. Somewhere. Yeah, we're not going to fit military in, are we? Oh well. Do that as the first bit down here, I think. Because what I could do instead, which is probably a bit easier, is just do... Which would it be? I guess if we made that shorter. And then do that. Do 3. Oh, but then I don't need that to be any more, do I? Yeah. So if we go boop, 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 and we go boop, 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 and make you green science. And then this guy can just be that. See, what the problem with this setup is it creates like an awkward kind of awkward situation in the sense that when we do actual proper big science, this would all be irrelevant. Big boy science. But yeah, I'm not even sure I'll get that far. Yes, so if we just put this on the side. In fact, let's put it below. I could maybe think about doing the military and what have you there. So just for positioning, let's do that one there. Except it's not there, is it? I've gotten confused by the other one. It needs to be parallel with that. So those would be coming up that way. How are we doing with pollution and stuff? I'm not annoying anybody, am I? Well, I mean, sure I'm annoying lots of people, but not annoying any biters is the point. Yes, so if we just build a separate, thing for military science, so this can be, same again, basically. Never hurts to have too much ammo, and I can just put. I could just do one directly feeding in stone walls, couldn't I? Here, maybe. So if that was the actual, so military was there, stone walls, and we can output. If I offset them slightly. Put walls there. Could maybe even do the grenades in here if we can. Oops, get them in. But we'll also need. In fact, actually, given we need to bring coal down for plastic at some point, let's push this up. And did I grab 10 of these? I can't remember. Something like that. Something like that. Oh, way more. Got 16. Okay. Clearly I have high expectations about what that would actually be able to produce. Anyway, let's get the red and green up and running. And then mess about military. Right. Has it got ammo in it? Yes. Inserters. Doot. Cool. So that's all gathering done. We should set up. So we know we're going to do the military here, and I'm sure I can make it fit in there. We'll probably end up with a bit of space at the end. I might just, do a bunch of grenades or something, because they're always useful. Get that down. But let's do on the other end here. How far do you go? To exactly where I am. Okay. Would that connect then? Oops. No, I think it would need to be there, wouldn't it? Okay. Oh, I never put any lights on. Gotta have some lights. Right, so let's put our oil derricks here. We will put them. So if we do the tanks as 0, and oh, there we go. That's perfect timing. We do the. I always call them oil derricks. The pump jacks is the proper term. But yes, they obviously got a tweak. And the thing that's gone, I was trying to waft my hands about and show it on the Friday Facts thing. So let's just make one instead, and I can. I mean, I'm sure you get it. It's not, it's not that complicated. Needs steel as well, doesn't it? Anything else? Green circuit. Oh, it's got them from there. Okay. Pipes. Cool. Yeah, 40 of them's fine because we're getting big things. Okay, so what we would then want for number 1 would be flow wagons, which are not done yet. Okay, but for 0 then we can have the cargo wagons. Have I not done? Oh, flow wagons are there, aren't they? Do them first then. So cargo wagons then, and then next to that we need the actual locomotives, which if we do 1 as a locomotive and 0 as an engine, yeah, I think we can piece all that together. To be a fluid wagon. Have I made one? Yeah, I made one. So the point really is, when you have them like that, at the moment when you rotate them, it doesn't go where you expect it to go, the arrow. So it's top right there, and then you would expect it to go bottom right. It didn't. It goes top right again. And then that doesn't make sense as a rotation either. It makes sense as a rotation of the first one, but not of this one, and then that one doesn't make sense either. So what they've effectively done is they've added the 2 missing orientations. So that one but at the bottom, that one but at the right, that one but at the top, and that one but at the left. So it's now got all of the possible rotations, so you can flip it, because you can't flip them at the moment, you see. And you can flip it, you can rotate it, and do anything you want with it. Which is very nice, because then you don't have to, like, remember that you've got this one building, literally just one building. I suppose EMPs are a weird orientation as well, but that's fine, because they're a weird building. But you've got this one thing where it doesn't work like it should work. And it's staggeringly annoying. And so that's all fixed now. Steel and iron plate. Super duper. Where's steel? Steel's up top there. Cool. What else do I need? I think I need steel. Probably gears. But we'll leave that one. You are gear. Yeah, gears, iron plate and steel. And then plate. You are steel and gears and iron pipes. And that you can also be a blue machine. We don't really need it to do that many, but let's have a stack anyway. And then you need steel green circuits. 10 of them. Yeah, so a good tip now is to, as soon as you get trains, to like push on to quality as soon as you can, because modules are red and green sides as well. You obviously have to do plastic, but don't build too many trains. Get the quality modules and then automate them. I'm not going to do that because it obviously doesn't apply for this, but you know, just hand build like your first train or something, or first, so you can get your oil in, first 2 trains or what have you, and then get quality modules in as quick as you can. And obviously people who do quality via mining and, you know, filtering it off and all this sort of stuff, they can, you know, build them direct and what have you. But if you just, like me, stick a few of them in a few key machines, the train ones are now a key machine to do. Okay, so we're still waiting on the fluid wagon. Taking a surprisingly long time, but that's fine. You do you. Next one then is, I mean, we haven't done the power. Okay, could we get the power to work? If we were doing, because we need to do rail, but we can feed in, we could have that be sticks. Like, so if 1 is rail, 0 is sticks. Yeah, we wouldn't have room then, would we? We'd have, if we do it down the side here then. So do number 1 as rail and 0 as sticks. Pick up sticks. And then you go there. Needs to jump over, doesn't it? Nope, not far enough. Wait, that's wrong, isn't it? No. What have I got wrong there? No, this one just needs to go down, that's right. So I asked a very interesting question on the YouTube video, saying whether my favourite thing has been revealed in the Friday Facts or not. And I can't really give an answer, but it's not because it's like revealing anything. It's more because I don't know what my favourite thing is. There's like quite a few that are sort of, you know, at the same level in a sense. So if I, you know, how do I say what my favourite is when I don't have a singular favourite? I've got a couple of things that I really like. And some of them have been revealed, and some haven't. As I say, a bit of a unsatisfying answer, I guess. Okay. Let's... Do we need to get this... I guess I need to get the rail up and running, don't I? Because, you know, rail pieces take a while to build up a stockpile of. We absolutely do not need 200 sticks. Do we need more? Yeah, but if I put... Because it is a rail world, so if I put, say, 400... but then it needs steel as well. Stone. And then the sticks in here are iron plate. Cool. And then what we could do... Did it do... No, that's literally next. Okay. We're not fussed about... thingy. What should we call it? Come on, brain, start working. Signals. So if we put 0 as the yellow ammo, 1 as the red ammo again, then obviously box it up, but we can then put our military science machine here. Let's say we're just going to do 1. And then we can put... Oh, we don't really need to store the stone brick. So put the stone brick there. Not stone brick, stone walls. Because then we can just grab that. So you just need iron plate, don't you? And then your copper. What I did say though is that I varied the naming of my first... Oh, it's not the first one, but the last one. Not this one, but the last one is very deliberate. Very, very deliberate indeed. So if I put... Say, how am I going to get coal in there? I guess I could run it along the bottom, couldn't I? Yeah, that'll work, I think. Yeah, because then we could have coal coming down it. Because, say, we're not going to need it for plastic. Let's do it 2. Let's do it there. Oops. So if we make this a coal line. Will that work? Yeah, so hop over the next one there. And then right, let's put it there. And then because we want grenades. So I think if I put... Can I route it round is the question now. Probably not. Could do the same... We could do a similar sort of trick. Because that doesn't have to be there. So put that there, for example. And they can both grenade. So we've got coal here. Can I rearrange them a bit better? Probably not. We don't need that one. Whoops. Have both of those. Do that sort of arrangement again. And then... Oh, I need more inserters. But yeah, so I mean, I'd actually, you know, my wishlist video had, you know, platform to platform transfer on it. For example, I suppose a wish is not technically a dream, but That's kind of what I'm getting at. I got some things on my wish list, basically. Now it's up to you whether you decide, you know, have I got everything I wanted? Well, no, I haven't got everything I wanted. Yet, you know, that's been revealed. Is that it? Is that where we're at? Is everything that they're going to do in that video? Or I'll leave that one TBD, as it were. I think I can probably pick all this up now, can't I? Since we got proper. Whoops! I did manage to do it in the end. Oh, we're full. Let's go chuck some things away. Okay, iron plate and copper and all sorts of magical things. And then, what takes copper? You take copper. You definitely take copper. Cool. In fact, you take steel as well. That's convenient of you. How are we doing? Electric energy distribution just about to finish. Excellent. Cool. Give this guy some lights because they're all in the dark, really. Cool. Cool. I should do a book, shouldn't I, really? There we go. And that. Cool. Excellent. So we got electrical energy distribution. I'm guessing hopefully put walls with one machine next to it spare, so we can just do the gates nice and easy. Do we want a bit, since I've filled my inventory up, do we want to do that one? Might as well do that one. And then I think we'll focus on your buffs. Can't do that because of military. Okay, so I can do that one and that one. Because we're going to have to take out these natives. I guess I could stick that on. So I get rid of landfill. Okay. Let's finish off our little build here. Kind of do both of them. Give them grenades. Less than 100. Copy that over. Bosh. And then, so they've got the coal from there when we hook it up. And they've got the iron plate from there. But we will have to adjust some inserters. There we go. And then we can put that on a belt when it exists. Spaghetti that one around there. Whoops. Hello, Greyhill. Hi there. I misread the title and thought you were playing Factorio Plus. Oh, no. Is there a mod called that? There must be. I know there's Factorio Extended. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Sorry. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I wonder if there's a Factorio. I know there's a Factorio Extended and sort of some along those lines. How about we just do... Because grenades are horribly slow, and I want to blow up some trees because that's fun. So how about we do that? Lovely spaghetti. Cool. And then they'll put them on there. Oops, like so. Need to go and set up. Okay. Yes, I just read the whole mod page. It's been around since before 1.0. Crikey. I assume it extends the... You know, it makes the rest... You know, well, I don't know. I wonder what it would do. Factorio Plus. Should I make them blue machines as well? I say they're horribly slow grenades. We do have a tiny little space here. Maybe we can fit something in there. But maybe not. So you would do... Why are you not actually... Oh, because I didn't put that up. Cool. So that would take... In fact, if we make that a fast one, it will sort of prioritise it. You've made enough walls to fill that up. That's good. Grenades is dependent on coal. Excellent. So, are we going to do a separate line for the coal? Or am I just going to steal it out of the ends of these? It might be a little tricky because I put that all a bit too close together, haven't I? But then this was all the wrong way around, wasn't it? But if I swap it, it'll be too much of a pain. Oh, although haven't we got medium poles now? We have. So I could swap in some medium poles. That would make it... I could put 2 reds on. Because what I could simply do... Simply a case of simply... Right, changing this. Which way around? That way around. Like so. And then same again, we take that one away. We stick in some... We need to go and make these on the bus because we don't want to be dragging wooden power poles all the way down to our oil. Oops. And then there, and there, and there. And light. Yeah, I wonder what our Factorio Plus would do. More than a Factorio Minus, I guess. Okay. If I then... Where do I want to put this in? So maybe if we move this... Oops. And of course, there don't seem to be too... I've not looked at mod page in a while, but there don't seem to be too many like overhaul mods yet for Space Age. And I'm wondering if it's something people just won't bother with. Because it's already pretty dang complex. Because I think even Erendor's said that, or it's not even... Because the obvious question is whether space exploration will incorporate Space Age. I think Erendor did make the point that the whole thing is sort of... The tricky part... is that you're like limiting your audience effectively, because if you do a normal Factorio play, you know, overhaul mod, anyone who's got normal Factorio can play that. If you do a Space Age overhaul, only people with Space Age will be able to play it. Oh, that's one tile off. Look at that. Let's retry that then. Oops, not quite fast enough. We will divert that on there first. Cool, so that should get us some grenades. Hooray! We like grenades. Cool. And then that'll make some military. How are we doing? Let me think. Yes, got plenty to make. Let's see how we've been doing with... I don't know if it counts as an overhaul, but there's a mod called Age of Production that adds beautiful buildings to the end game, along with extra recipes and complexity. Okay. So sort of an extension-y type thing. But yeah, I mean, in a way, Space Age is an overhaul mod. That's kind of what it's, what it's already doing. So you'd be overhauling an overhaul mod in a sense. It's sort of a bit of a weird, weird thing really. So let's make the power poles. So we would want that there. And 0 would be copper cables, but I don't really want to stick them in a box. So we will cut and paste that over. Get rid of that. Do that. Longhand that. And then we can kind of just, if I hook all this up, kind of just flip it. But it needs steel and... oh no, just steel. But this needs copper. Do I put that on there? It's actually probably better with our fast one. Oops. Steel. And then... so we just sort of recreate all of that. H-flip it. Pop it on there. Change that to medium. Don't really need 2 stacks for now, I guess. Let's just make the one. Bosh, 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 bosh. Oh, and you as well. And then we can put light in. Boop, boop. Yeah, cool. Yes, let's see if we can't do... here we go. If I... might as well overwrite it to be honest with you. If we go 0 then as being walls, and 1 as being the gates. And then I'll just re-edit that one. And then, what do you need? Circuits and steel, is it? Okay. Definitely don't need 100 of them. Probably don't even need 50. Let's have a quick wander around and restock. In fact, if I take the pipes now, because next job will be... in fact, I don't need 100 if we're going to train it rather than pipe it over. I've got those pumps. Do we start swapping out for them, I think? Got steel ones. Yeah, might as well have them. Don't need boilers and stuff. I need to put those back though, don't I? Let's just start sort of building up what fast belts we've got for when the inevitable upgrade is needed. Cool. Should we take some red ammo with us? Won't hurt to dot that around as well. I've already filled up on shotguns, although we've used a few. Radio's fine. Let's take another stack of turrets because... just because. Pumps. What about engines? Have I got engines on me? Let's have some engines in case I blow my car up. And then we want assembly machines. I am often blowing my car up. It's one of the things I do. Long-handed heads, cool. Right, lights, yeah. That's fine. What about grenades? Have you made me some grenades? You have. Lovely, lovely machines. So yeah, a little bit of military happening. We have a train. Let's get 2 of them. Oh, I never made the cargo wagons. No, fluid wagons rather. Let's put them on. So 0 is the regular. 1 is the fluid. I use parameterized blueprints for my Loggybot model, but I never thought of using them to make the early game model later set up. Thank you very much. So a lot of kind of, I don't know about trial and error, but oh, there's way too many of them. We don't need that many. But yeah, a lot of I had blueprints at one point that were like the full-on, like this is, you know, my base, this is how I make it type of situation. And that was fun to do. I could have put them in couldn't I, instead. That's fine, you know, I enjoyed building it and stuff. But it's sort of I really enjoy the designing, and I kind of deliberately try and do it differently each time. I use this as the framework, you know. But what I build where is, you know, different each time, basically. And so I quite enjoy doing that. Oh, no, what you're doing, idiot. Don't want to do that. So we've got a floor wagon now. Cool. Let's make it 10, that's fine. Let's make it 10, that's fine. We've got those already. Coal. Awesome sauce. So let's grab a few power poles. Excellent. How many rails we got? Yeah, let's take all of our rails. So we don't need signals because it's just going to be a back and forth rail. Oops, I can get rid of that. Is there anything else I've made that I want to stick in here? Oh, I never made... Oh, I did make a submachine gun, sorry. Yeah, it's also sort of vaguely... The whole snaking back and forth, it's based on a Mojo thing. Like as an early game building thing. But I'm not smart enough to do Mojo's one. So I ended up just sort of bastardizing it, basically. But yeah, so we could do... Now that we've got sticks here, I guess we could add on, if we do... then... What would go in that, I wonder? I can't think of anything that might fit in there, but we'll leave one as a gap, and then we'll do just plop on signals here, basically. So get the signals. I mean, we could do something silly like, you know, the speaker or something like that. That's one of the many things I just don't ever use. Ah, yes, we are at medium power pole stage. So, how about we upgrade this upgrade this blueprint. So we put on gears and, I don't know, sticks or something, and then we swapped... in fact, I don't need... If all I'm doing is upgrading, I can just use an upgrade planner. I'm not going to fiddle with any settings for the blueprinting, so I can just go bosh bosh. Oops. And then what's the other? We could do the wooden for the steel, couldn't we? Yes, so if we take that, pop it on there, upgrade that, and then not leave it as not blue, you know, fast inserters and blue machines just yet. We'll leave that in there because inevitably we'll have to upgrade the base. All your base are needing upgrading. Yeah, things like the speaker, and I know people do use them. I'm not poo-pooing them. I am poo-pooing the display panel. I think that was the biggest miss from 2.0 for me, or 2.1, I guess. We don't really need 100 of them. And then, because you need sticks, don't you, my friend? Don't you, my friend? Oh, we're out of iron. Is that because we've not got any ore coming in? No. Well, yes, it kind of is, isn't it? Doing more ore. But also could maybe do with an upgrade. Maybe that's what we sneak in here. Steel furnace? Because steel furnace is otherwise sort of useless. So maybe we do... otherwise not really upgradable. Oh, I've not done it. I've not done it. Have I not done advanced material? No. So we need to do that. In fact, we'll do it next. Could also do my lovely defender bots. Cool. So yeah, we'll put steel furnace in there, sneak it in that gap. And the same way, I have a framework, but I like building from scratch for some reason. But I am going to borrow your parameterized method, best of both worlds. Yeah, so the parameterization is like, I've said this before, it's a little difficult to explain. If you never use, I mean, you have, so you may get this a bit better, but it's sort of a system where it's like a really nice idea, but it didn't quite work. Partly from an interface point of view, the GUI on it is atrocious. If I can be so blunt. You know, how you do parameterization is esoteric and weird. But that's fine, you know, it's a system, it's one of those systems within the systems, you know, a lot of people play with never touch the circuit network and all that sort of stuff, so that's all fine. But say it is weird. Quirky is maybe the best phrase to use. So just checking through, making sure we got everything, because I'd quite like to set the advanced material processing going. We need to go and get the oil before we can build the oil refineries and stuff. But we can set. We know how it all works, so we can set the, you know, the actual train stuff up, and then come and build the refineries. But yes, it's sort of, I don't know, so missed opportunities is not quite the right word, but it's like, the problem with it in a sense is particularly around the sub buildings of, like, you know, you can set it as build this one as the recipe of this one, and it's like when they get very complicated, it just sort of, you can't really genericize them. You end up with a, you know, a parameterized blueprint, because it's like that. I've said before, electronic circuits use iron plate and, you know, copper cables. So when you try and do this is the parent of this type situation, the game doesn't really know, like, what you're trying to do in a sense. I mean, and it's like you end up building, you know, a generic version, but it's only generic for, we try to build a generic version, but it only works for that one machine. So it's like if you did a generic version for that, it would absolutely not work for that one, because the sub-ingredient inserter is an actual machine itself, sort of thing. So it sort of ends up being, well, you're just building a base with, like, where you might as well just build it as a thing, you know, rather than, you know, it's just a blueprint, not, oh, I will select inserters here, because it's just you end up with this massively complicated blueprint, and it's not actually generic, you know. So it works on tiny things like this, or like space. I started doing a series called Parameterizing Space, and it's like, it just didn't work, because it's like the crushers, you've only got three recipes, so you can just copy paste it. It's not like you're selecting like this, where I'm selecting between loads and loads of different stuff. You've only got 3 recipes. I mean, you know, I suppose you've got the reprocessing, but, you know, again, you've got 3 recipes. You know, it's like, it's sort of, it's a nice idea, but it falls apart basically, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't. Not everything needs to be finished and perfect and wonderful. So it just feels like something that nearly. So we want stone brick and those guys. Cool. So it'll make some of them while we're off killing, negotiating with biters. Have we got everything we need for our little oil train? I think we do. Cool. Yeah, I have a hard time setting up parameterized blueprints. The GUI is horrible. Yeah, it's terrible. It didn't help either that for the longest time, I'm saying this hoping they fixed it in this as well, it was broken, and it was just broken in a very weird way where it would say use this variable in order to do this, and it was the wrong variable. You know, it would say use whatever it's pn of underscore s for like rocket stacks. I can't remember what the actual error was, but for rocket stack size, and that wasn't rocket stack size, and it was like, well, why is that not been fixed? You know, it's already weird enough as it is. Why are you leaving me with, you know, broken bugs? Take you out. So we do need a little bit of extra iron on here. Oops. Oh, that's not the book, is it? Let's in fact, put that there. Get rid of that. Do that. Cool. Oh no, I haven't. Oh, I haven't blueprinted these. Okay. Let's do. I've done loads of these blueprints loads of different times. It's just, in fact, actually, we could go straight to medium, couldn't we? That would be useful. Cool. So if we, oh. Where would you have come from? Is that the edge of a spawning? Let's go and have a look then. Let's leave that. Well, actually, let's just quickly do that. Boop. Snap to grid relative. Then we want it to be 8 and 6. So that. No. I do want it to be 9, don't I? Yes. So then, bosh. Cool. Let's put that in our book. Right, gun. Is there an accurate reference for it somewhere? Which do you mean? The variables in the parameterization, you mean? Oh, what's going on here? What are you lads doing? I'm not a fan of this. Not a fan of this at all. Avoid tree, avoid tree. This is my bit of the world. Not allowed to build here. Spawn here. Oh, we're a bit weak on the ammo, aren't we? Oops. I mean, if that was the sort of question, the parameterization thing, the answer is no. Unfortunately, and that's another thing. It's almost completely unsupported in Factoriopedia. Where did the other ones go? What are you hanging about here for? Maybe it was a spawning and. interrupted it. They were sort of building some more. Negotiations finished. Yes, for the various. No, I say it's almost completely unsupported. So if you look in Factoriopedia, I don't think it even mentions it, does it? Or just literally just says parameters are used for setting the generic blueprint. So it's not even particularly well written in the blueprint configuration menu. Okay, that's really illuminating. And I don't think there's any tips or anything to even like explain it. I say it's like it's very much a feature that was kind of put in and then just not really had anything done with it. You know, it's not been improved or, you know, updated or modified based on feedback. And I say it's partly this thing that it's like a deep level feature, and so the number of people using it, I think, is relatively small. So let's see if we can't. Where would we want to go? I guess we would want to be sort of sneaking our way. So maybe we take this down so that we don't sort of get in the way of. We're getting to the limit of what a yellow belt would be able to support there. And we're obviously not using a lot of the power. It's like massively overbuilt, really. So yeah, I think if we... Where would I want to drop the oil? I'm thinking about using this area here, like generically, all around here for oil production. So if we sort of bring in here, did I have any? Has it made me? I think no. So no, I don't. It might do. You know the Factorio wiki. You know, rather than Factoriopedia. The Factorio wiki has probably got some stuff in it, but otherwise you're talking probably learning. I mean, I wanted to do some YouTube videos on it, but I just never did, sort of thing. So you're probably needing to look up, you know, videos that people have done. Can I? But yeah, so it's just one of those features. It's like it's in there, but it's just unloved, as it were. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5, 8. So we'll just take a stack, I think. And we'll probably be alright. Yeah. What about... I can't do flammables, can I, until I've done oil. Okay. I could get concrete, but I'm thinking more, you know, we leave it on a lab research or something, and that's always useful because that lets me blow trees up in one hit. So let's get a couple of rail stops. So we should have everything now. What we need, because I'll probably just steal this coal for the trains. We'll prioritise it going into the boilers. But yeah, so put that there. And then bumpy bumpy. In fact, let's just do... Whoops. Let's just do 2 of them, maybe. Tank. Oops. Tank. Like so. And then if we have the... fueling on this side, and we need some power. So yeah, if we do oops, output priority on the right. Let them get a bit coal in. So that's all ready to go. Now, we kind of want to go, what, sort of across here maybe? So probably want to do down a bit further. Maybe something like, come on rail planner. You can do it. So across, we want it to be straight really, going in. Because then we can put a proper gate on it. So something like that, maybe? Yeah, that'll do. Right, how are we doing? Train got fuel in? It's got some fuel in. Cool. Oh, I didn't take out all the rocks. So let's fix that. Cool. So what else is in the Friday? Oh! That'll teach me. Hello, tree, meat shotgun. Oh, hello. Looks like we've had a couple of spawnings then. That'll teach me for messing about. It's only tiny though, isn't it? I wonder if we could just shoot them to death. You're not allowed. Don't spit at it yet. I'm not a fan of this behaviour. Do you mind? Right. Now, as I was saying, I think I said this last week. It's like apparently a lot of people, like almost a majority, if not a majority, play without biters on, and it's one of the sort of reasons they're kind of loath to do any. Because they obviously get the stats and stuff of, you know, what, particularly on the, you know, the Galaxy of Fame, I guess now. But why bother, you know, changing the system or, you know, all these things people suggest, like, and I've suggested for the entire videos about combat and stuff. Why bother? You know, when nobody really plays with it, sort of. There's trees on my oil patch. I don't like that. Right, where are you? One there. No, there's one there as well. That's all of them covered. Do I want to like mess about hooking it up now? This is probably a bit much space, really, isn't it? Oh. Let's get a grenade in. So, where do we want to maybe... Because we're going to end up with kind of walls where... Here, oops, here-ish maybe? Did I grab any gates? I don't think I did I? Oh. So yeah, take it up there. So put some turrets on that side as well. So yeah, this is obviously a thing that's changed, or a new addition, is the 8 directional. They weren't there before, were they? Oh no, that was the one that was there. Is that right? 8 directional flamethrower turrets coming to a Factorio near you. They're pretty cool actually, they look really nice. Really, you know, you sort of can't in a sense tell that they're a later edition, you know, they just look like they should have been there and from the beginning, you know. Right, let's get this positioned. Oops. And then if I just kind of put a line there, and then which side is the power pile on? Right hand side, okay. So probably better doing it, running it down from the other end, I think. Pretty happy with all the changes I've seen so far. Yeah, I mean they're pretty good. I mean the space casinos is obviously the big controversial one, and it's kind of it's on Reddit in particular. I don't really use the forums, but on Reddit in particular, it seems to have reignited the is quality any good? Do I like quality? You know, all that sort of stuff. So it all seems to have come back up again. You know, not just the fundamental of. I think part of the thing I said on a few replies to my Friday Facts video that part of it I think is people are thinking about it wrong, and not in a sort of nasty way. I think, whoops, the reason they're thinking about it wrong is because it's like there's like a problematic design philosophy behind it, in that basically, let me see if I can reason this out. The game is about, you know, like massively or a lot of people play it with the idea of massively scaling up production. That's why they play Factorio. Right, so that one's done. So now we can do. Can we? Oh, obviously done. We get thingies with it. But yes, if we queue up all of our plastics and our oils and our flammables and our flammable turrets and all of our fun toys. Do we want that one to chug through? I think we want that one to... In fact, probably want it something like that, maybe. But yes, it's... And the point of, like, what I think they want it to be, and why it's called legendary and rare and epic, is it's more like an RPG system where, you know, you go out, you do a quest, and your reward is the legendary sword of, you know, killing biters or whatever, and that's it. And that's like, you get one of those, and that's it. There is no, you know, you can grind, but your grind is more around you know, like rolling for the stats or what have you. You know you're going to get a legendary from doing it. Or even systems where you don't, where you do roll for, you know, epic and rare and all that sort of stuff. But you take what you've got, basically, and you work with it. They weren't really, I don't think, thinking about it in terms of people want to upgrade their entire factory to legendary items, you know, legendary assemblers and blah 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 blah, and that's not what they were really intending. Or if you do manage to make everything legendary, it's a huge achievement. You know, it's like you know, you built the biggest possible mega base and blah blah blah. I say, I think that's what they're intending it to be. So something like when space casinos come along, they're not really even casinos. I don't know why people are going on that, because the whole quality system is gambling. So what's the casino part of it then? That's just quality. But yeah, so it's like when that comes along, and it's just that's the only viable, not viable, but if you want to do, everyone does it because it's just so much, just gives you so much, you know, easy legendary stuff. That's why they want to nerf it, basically. But I mean, I just don't really. For me, what I say, as part of that, what I want a legendary assembler to do something weird, you know, or like special, or, you know, different sort of thing. Not just be a bit faster. I don't care. I say that for me personally is where it falls down. So it's why I use it for space stuff, because then I get legendary. I get, you know, 5 grabber arms on one machine. That's awesome. That's what I want. Ever so slightly faster foundry. Great, I don't care. I'll just build another foundry. I say, it's not all. It can't all be that. You know, it can't all be. You're going to end up with something. I mean, what special thing could a legendary wall have? You know, it's not going to apply for everything, but. And that's fine. It's just, I say, I just don't particularly care about a lot of what you get. So, I say, I don't particularly engage with it a lot. In a sense, I'm saying I'm sort of agreeing with them in that I would rather it was something that, like, you could literally get one legendary assembler. But it was how you made, you know, or, you know, but it was how you made Prometheum Science or something, you know, that it needed tying in to, like, the game, basically. Because otherwise you're just left with a system where it looks like it's about grinding, and Factorio players, you know, that's what they're interested in. So when they discover some way of cheesing that, is it fair to punish them? You know, if you've created a system that is all about grinding. You know, why punish them for grinding? So say it does come off a little bit mean, but it was just so. It's just so. This is the only solution type of thing. So yeah. But so I think the design philosophy that they had, or the concept that they had, almost doesn't understand their own player base. You know, they're not going to be if it looks like they can get a faster machine, then they're going to do everything they can to get a faster machine. So put that there. Say maybe connect that there. Actually, no. Yeah, no. Let's do that. This is the change. I say the change to this in 2.1 is just lovely. It's just like not having to go, oh, well, if I turn that around, oh no, it didn't align, oh no, I got to do that, oh, it's just so much nicer. And the fact that it's literally only these that, you know, where this applies to. If it was something that applied for every, you know, fluid producing machine, then fine, but it doesn't. You know, it's only these. I don't want to really power this up, do I? Because we've literally got some guys who will get very, very angry very, very quickly. Okay. Oh, hello, Krish. Welcome. Kirsch, rather. Are you doing well? Ever played without quality enabled? I haven't actually, no, I don't think. I mean, obviously played vanilla. Sorry, I didn't see your question. I was off. Ranting, raving. No, I haven't actually. I haven't given it a go. Because the trouble, I mean, this is one of my things about Space Age is it takes so long to play a game through, and I don't really. I have done a lot of stuff in like designer mode and editor mode and all that sort of stuff, but very much with I need to design this thing, and if I try and do like simulate gameplay with it, I just lose interest and it just doesn't make sense to me, if you see what I mean. So doing it as a sort of I mean, what I could maybe branch it, but say you'd have to kind of play the whole thing through without the quality. But it's going to take me long enough to play it through with quality, if you see what I mean. I have been doing my standard thing of just, you know, I'm using it in grabber arms and, you know, solar panels and obviously trains now that we got that. But, you know, I think did I even bother with a space casino? I sort of gave it a go and looked at the concept, but I don't think I ever actually fired it up and ran it because I say it doesn't. I'm not really. I don't megabase, you know. So basically, it's not my thing. Like massive volume and numbers. I'd rather start a new game, you know. It's always been my. It's like I say, I enjoy designing, and when I did my Megabase series, I really enjoyed designing those builds. But the idea of then that was how I would play, as it were. I've got another colonization here as well. Look at that. It's just not the thing I'm most interested in the game. You see what I mean? Yeah, no criticism on anyone that is. Oh, did I manage to line that up by accident? I did. I didn't go to the station because I didn't have a schedule. We need to rename them and stuff. How are we doing? 20 minutes to 5. Okay. But yeah, it's sort of I don't know. It's sort of I quite like that that's there. You know, I quite like that that's an option now. It was weird seeing the recycler as a mod because it is just literally one tiny little building. Very strange. So this would be load, and then this would be unload. Boop. boop, call EO, and then I want to give you a. I mean, you know, I could do an interrupty version, but I have found if you're not running a single system with the rail, it where's full cargo? There we are. It can go a bit wonky, like it tries to send stations that you can't, trains to stations that they can't get to. What would we be doing there? So that would be empty cargo? Yeah. Cool. So, do we want to design... We must design a little wall thing now. And I can blueprint it up. Let's just go over here. I'll obviously stick in some flamer turrets when we get them. But I like to have a bit of defence in depth. Boop. Why did I put the power bar there? I'm an idiot. Don't steal, might as well stand up a bit. And then... Oh, I need to do it... Oh, okay. Oh, I put that 2 away. 2 over by 8. Excellent, okay. So yeah, put that there. You go over, please. Cool. So if we then grab that and we snap it to grid, relative, but we don't want it to be. We want it to be 8. No, we don't want it to be 7 and offset by 1. Cool, so that then should tile, cool. But then we can also do the really weird thing of, oh, where did it go? There it is. Put that in there. Of, now I need to get this right, so but do that first, and then we do that, and then we put them in. So we need that, each one takes 10, doesn't it? So we need it to be like, I guess how many do I want it to be over by? If I make it 30, cool. Now if I blueprint that again, it should retain it. Yes, okay, so we can now... Oh, I've got 2 that are the same now, haven't I? But, oh, we know that. Okay, so we can get rid of that one. Because it's in there. Put that back again. And then we'll have to snap to grid again. 7. It's relative. Cool. So, that should then be 1. For when we get bots... Yes, with the requesting. Cool. I'm just caught an hour to go. What else was in the Friday Facts that I haven't talked about? We had obviously the pump jacks, which is lovely. Burner mining drills I do not give any kind of a toss about. Drop lane indication I've talked about. The arrows on the machines, yeah, part of that, and say that. So I think confused people a little bit. And yeah, the inserters combining. Dropping onto the inside, by the way, the 8-direction flamethrowers I talked about. They are lovely. It's not quite as big a dip because it has such a, I said in the video, such a big fan on a flamethrower turret. It's not that difficult to overline them, but I think they're going to look awesome when I do proper defensive blueprints. Yes, the improvements to the like Fulgora and stuff. We'll have to see. So one of the things, I tried to load up an old file so that I could see them in place, like see how dense they were and all that sort of stuff. But it wouldn't put them in. It wouldn't spawn them in, which I think might be you need to restart to see them. Because one of the things I'm curious about, I already said this, is do you have to mine them? You know, or are they an obstacle in the oil sands? You know, I'm sure you can mine them and what have you. What do you get from them? Is it any different? I shouldn't think so, but we'll have to see. But yes, what does that mean for lore is the big question for me. The stromatolites, I had a look at them on Glamour. They are, it's way better as a graphic, but it didn't really change anything. Same with the rocks and volcanoes. The Demolisher, yeah, it is a lot nicer looking. It looks more like it's a proper thing in the game, whereas before it used to look like it was plopped on. But it's not massively different, really. The rocks are great. They do look great when you kill one. It does actually look like the corpse of a Demolisher rather than just it spawns some random rocks. Quality trains I mentioned, they are awesome. So I can't tell you what the levels are as it goes up because they didn't put them in the Friday Facts, but it sort of does what you'd expect. You know, they always get better with each level of quality. But I would say it is one worth putting in quality modules for, or making them via if you're making quality plates and stuff, because the boosts are great. How I'm going to cope with it doing logic circuits, I don't know. I'm okay with the logic system. I've said this before. A lot of the reason I can do the clarification on the Friday Facts is because I spent quite a few years as a programmer, and so I know quite a lot of the terms they're talking about, like APIs and stuff like that. I know what that means. But the circuit network always defeats me because the whole let's just make one. The fact that you have to chain them together rather than you can't just put together a super duper complicated. You can't put your if conditions effectively into a combinator very easily, and certainly not have it. You can't do a case statement in a combinator. You have to do it across 20 combinators sort of thing. So that's always where I fall over because I sort of know what I want to do, and then actually doing it is like a pain in the backside. And what I mean by that is obviously you can hook up tanks and stuff to read the volume that's in the tank, so how much oil they've got in. And so what I usually do, obviously then the maths, fluid wagon holds 50, two of these hold 25 each, so if you've got two of these are full up, then that will fill one fluid wagon. So you can say you can have this train wait until there is these are both full and it's got a load, and so then it will come down. It works really well with the parameterization and what do you call it, the new train thing, interrupts in particular, because not so much with fluids but with the solid stuff. Equally, so you can sum what's in a bunch of boxes and say, oh, we've got 3 trains worth of stuff, send 3 trains. But of course now a legendary train holds, as you say, 10 rows versus 4 rows, so 100 stacks versus 40 stacks. So it's 2.5, like one train is like 2.5 trains. So your maths all goes wonky. So if you end up with, this is the bit I'm not sure how I'm going to cope with. If you end up with 5 trains that are common, 10 trains that are uncommon, 3 trains that are rare, 2 trains that are legendary, all of the maths is completely different. So yeah, I don't quite know how I'm going to manage that, but yeah, that's a me and other circuit people type thing they've just left that to us to sort out basically. The fluid system, I'm sort of glad they're fixing the bugs. I never had any of these issues because I don't tend to build at scale like this, or I just put more machines on rather than build legendary machines. And yes, the final picture with its pipe GUI, which shows and hints at some changes that they're not really talking about basically. So I can literally read the picture where it says circuit connection output and the red and green tick boxes, so you can kind of extrapolate from that as to what they've actually done. Because, as I say, it is some nice stuff. Let's put it that way. But again, it's like it's like a niche type area. You know, it's like if you never use the circuit network, it's not going to make any difference to you. You know. Okay, so we have done explosives and stuff, haven't we? So we've got stuff we can build. We're just finishing that one off. What do we want to do for the last 2 minutes? Because I've got to kill these guys, basically. Them because they're too close to the pollution. And these four because they'll be hit by the oil when we start pumping it. So, do I do that now? Yeah, go on then. So let's go back to unload. Don't think we'll get it done in like 10 minutes, but we'll give it a go. Let me grab. In fact, let's put. Grab that. What are you set on then? Oh, I never set it. Okay. It's fine though. We want it to be like 1,000 or something. It's because I plopped it over the top, I think. What are you set on then? 200. So if we make that higher as well. So that's all of our research is done for now. I am going to leave... No, I'm not. I'm going to... Yes, no, I'm going to leave it for now. I'll clear out these biters. Let everything sort of... Oh! And that's the reason why. Oh, we got a spawn in there. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Indeed. Yes, yes. Stop eating my stuff. How very annoying of you. Have they actually destroyed anything apart from a couple of power poles? Or is it repairable stuff? Yeah. Oh. What? Oh, you're down there, are you? Okay. I see. I see how it is. Sneaking past me, is it? It's ironic, it destroying the repair packs. Filthy little bugs. Let's get in our car. Swap all that out for a PMO. Make sure we've got fuel. Cool. Gonna go this way. Whoops. Woo. Oh look, the copper's almost done over there. Okay. Right, so are you... With those trees, I'm going to be better off, I think, doing a bit of turret creep. But we would be better coming in from the top, I think. Let's head up here. Oops. Don't you eat my car. I need that for car things. Right. Grar. I just nibble you? No. Too close. quite a few worms. Okay, we can leave the worms because they're not going to get up and eat our base. Obviously, eventually we'll need to take them out, but it's fine for now. Now, I think they've been steadily, like, creeping forward, haven't they? I was hoping to avoid putting walls around, you know, at this stage, effectively. Is there anything here that's, like, broken? That was the other question, wasn't it? So yeah, it looks like they killed some inserters here. Oh, and furnace, and there's something broken there, isn't there? Where's the repair thing? There we go. Grab that. Like so. Nasty little bugs. It's very nearly 6 o'clock. How much? Ooh. So I'm probably a little under-leveled is the reality. Oh, it's 300. You know, I've got one machine making military science, really. Yeah. Okay. So probably just have to sort of outproduce them rather than tech them, as it were. I've got red, so I'll do some of that as well. There's quite a few worms on that one. Let's do, say, there. If I do that one, because I think they're just out of range, yeah. So let's see if we can't nibble away at you. Get rid of that base. Oops. And then if I go sort of down here as well. Leave it alone, you little monsters. Okay. So, we've got 2 left, but they're going to be better tackled, I think, from the other side. I used to have this theory that if you left the worms, they wouldn't, like, recolonise there. I don't think it really works like that. What it is the middle of the night. It's a bad time to be in this, but I'll just finish these guys off, or this nest off, or die. You know, whichever comes first. And then we'll knock it on the head for today. That one in there. I'll lose one of these. Oh, nearly. Again, don't need to take out the worms as such. Obviously, if our railway was coming right next to it, then we would need to, because they occasionally manage to hit the railway, or the train rather. But otherwise we can leave them be. Yes, so we'll pick up next week. We will have to take out, I would say, them at the very least, but really it kind of needs to be all of them. And we have managed to kind of avoid combat quite a lot, and sort of push on with production, but as I think we're at a stage where we do need to do that. What I could do, since we need to outproduce rather than out-tech for the time being, we could bump all of these up so that they've got plenty of ammo, and we can build the destroyer, and we can put a little extra thing on that. In fact, maybe that's what I use that one for. Make that part of the destroyer production. So that could be yellow ammo, red ammo, destroyer maybe. Because it would be, I use poison capturers quite a lot. They're very useful for just clearing out the worms, which is obviously their turrets, and then they're also, it's really good for killing off small biters and medium biters, to be honest with you. Thins the herd, and super cheap, but we don't get that until, is it military 2? It might be military 3, I can't remember. Poisson. Military 3, yeah. So we need blue science up and running for that. Combat shotty as well. Cool. So yes, so that's it for this little stream, noodling about in Factorio. It will be, so as I mentioned, I completely lost this weekend for the Friday Facts, and for my video over on my YouTube channel. I didn't put the schedule on. Okay, I completely lost this weekend because there was so much in the Friday Facts, so many topics, that I did a 2.5 hour record, or I recorded 2.5 hours of footage, which takes about 4 hours. So it's basically all the afternoon, evening, and then editing it. I was going up till 2 o'clock yesterday, so all the time I was expecting to spend playing the version 2.1 playthrough, I didn't, basically. So I'm going to have to catch up, because I want to get as close as I can to finishing that before it releases it out to everybody. When it does, when it goes public, I will either be continuing that just to finish it off, or starting again. I suspect starting again. The expectation is probably either end of June, beginning of July, so there is a bit of time. I should be able to get it played through, although I've got some horrible deadlines at work as per usual. But yes, so the plan basically is I will play that 2.1 through. I'm recording the footage. I'm not expecting to put it live because I don't know if that technically breaks the NDA, but I'll be using some of it, I suspect, in a changes for 2.1, update 2.1 video or something like that. Just little bits, showing you the new stuff that's cool and interesting, particularly if you've not read the Friday Facts. So those are the plans for 2.1. I will start. I would either convert this over. I'd be interested to know how it will work converting over, or more likely I will just start yet again. So we'll do a brand new playthrough, and that will basically be my summer, is streaming that as and when I want to. At least the Sunday stream, but maybe I'll chip in Saturdays and stuff like that. But I'm working on all the scripts for the next series of the law speculation, as well as my new series and all that sort of stuff. So basically those videos will stop. Obviously Friday Facts, if they put them out, I'll do a video, but I'm expecting them to stop basically over summer while people play the open beta. Maybe it'll come back again just to say thanks for all the fish, so long and thanks for all the fish, as the sort of final Friday Facts for Factorio. We shall see, but I say the plan basically is, the law speculation is done. If the next one, unfortunately the timing meant that I've basically put out like 3 hours worth, no, 2 hours worth of video, which is a lot of video for people to watch. But it came out on Friday. It's on Prometheum Science. What I think Prometheum Science is, it gets a bit philosophical. It's a bit sort of heavy in a sense. It's a fun one though. It is the culmination. You kind of, to some extent, you have to watch all the other ones to really get it. But yeah, so that came out on Friday, and then Saturday late I put out I was rushing so much to get it done. I forgot to put in my please subscribe little messages, you know. So yeah, it was kind of brutal actually. So I essentially have lost this weekend for doing that. I literally did 2 hours this morning and that's it. So I have to catch up with that. So where I was thinking maybe next week I might do some other streams, it'll just be the 2 hours I think on the Sunday. As per usual, and we can talk about whatever's in the Friday Facts, whatever they decide to tell everybody about. So yes, so Law Videos Series 1 is done, so wait for Series 2 in the autumn probably. Other video series, I say, with that. Friday Facts, if they do them, videos, I'll be playing through 2.1, and we shall start a new playthrough or continue this one, depends where we get to, for 2.1 when it launches, and I'll be just streaming that. That'll be my summer. Summer's usually very quiet for, you know, YouTubing and Twitch and stuff, so you know, I quite like the idea of just bimbling around for a few hours every weekend doing 2.1, and then picking up properly in the autumn. I had planned to move. That was the other reason I was sort of, if I just do a streaming series, it won't matter if I suddenly disappear for several weeks, but there's been some changes at my job that I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But yes, so those are all the plans. If you are just seeing this now sort of thing, you know, you've not seen me before as my series, then you can see the links to my stuff on here. The two to really pay attention to, if you want to watch VODs of my stuff, of any of my, you know, streaming from now on, if you want the old stuff, you'll have to go to my Trismegistus. I've not transferred it over yet, but I have a special VODs channel, Triggles, VODs and Sods, that has all of, you know, this video will go up there this week, or the VOD for this will go up there this week, and if I do other stuff, you know, like other games and stuff, they'll all go on the secondary channel. That's my second channel basically. So the VODs for live streams and the Sods for everything else. In fact, my main YouTube channel is just going to be Factorio from now on. I don't live stream anymore. I used to stream both to Twitch and YouTube, but I didn't like the experience, so I just stream here, and the only one I guarantee is the 4 o'clock Sunday basically. So otherwise you'll have to wait and see. I think that's everything. I guess you can follow me on Blue Sky as well. Boop, boop, boop. I sort of post when I go live and the occasional bit. Oh, I suppose the other thing is the Discord. I sort of revamped the Discord at someone's request basically. It's much simpler, so it's just got 2 channels, like a general and a Factorio. The idea was that if you prefer Discord, if you want to do speculation stuff yourself, then some people prefer Discord, and that's available for you to do that. I don't really use Discord that much myself, so I'm not really all that active there. But if you wanted to chat with people about it, then the idea was to do it there. But it's a tiny channel. There's just like very occasionally somebody will pop on. So make of that what you will. I will still be responding to comments on YouTube. I'm still going to do that. That'll be my main avenue. If you want to chat about stuff with me there on speculation, or give me your own ideas for lore speculation, then, you know, that's the place to do it basically. So that's all the self-promo rubbish. That's it for this week. If you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. You might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.